I don't want to minimize, right? But your courage to go do a second career at kind of, what relatively people call the beginning of midlife. You could easily sit on your butt. You could get fat. You could watch TV and be this beer drinking guy. I don't think you could be, but I'm just painting a picture, right? And then they see their dad and their mom working together and really I don't like the word hustle. I don't think you were hustling. What you were doing was working hard with a beautiful goal in mind. And they're seeing this and they're a part of it. I can only imagine what it gave them. I mean, they must have said, go ahead.
One of the side products of me hustling this much, and it's a very funny side product, because when my kids complain about school and how hard it is, I throw that in their face every 2 seconds. Whoa. I got a full-time job and I went to school. What are you guys talking about right now? And they shut up. They don't say a damn word.
Back in my day, I used to walk to school barefoot uphill, both ways,
2 miles
barefoot in the snow. Right,
Wait a second. You live down south. There was no snow.
Yeah, but they can't negotiate it, can they? Because they were there for
There's no negotiation.
Yeah, they can't.
And I got to tell you, I got some really good kids. I mean, they test the waters every so often.
They should.
But
they should. That's part of it.
There really isn't no, well, you don't know what I'm going through. I don't.
That's a good way to parent, my man. It's the best way to parent.
It's by example.
Yeah,
it's by example. Don't tell me about how hard it is. I walked the road already.
Right,
remember?
Right. It's not do as I say. It's do as I do.
Do as I do.
Beautiful. So you graduate Kingsborough. Is this the point where COVID hits and you move down to North Carolina, or? Oh
no. So what happened was that right before I entered nursing school, because you have to do a whole bunch of prerequisites before you even get accepted.
Right.
So you have to get high enough grades, which is hard enough juggling a full-time job, a family, and getting high grades. So I managed to get the high grades. I managed to take the test to get into the school, nursing school.
Right.
Got into nursing school, and that's when COVID hit.
Okay.
So I at the time, this is a dirty little secret. In the midst of COVID, they were using their nursing students to do, because a lot of the nurses were dropping out. They didn't want. They were getting burnt out. They were dissatisfied. This and that. They were using the nursing students to do a lot of the work in the hospitals that couldn't be done because they didn't have enough staff.
Am I hearing this right? You got on-job training, kind of like.
I got on-job training.
Right.
On-job training.
Wow.
And it was a trial by fire.
Right.
And most nursing students will tell you, if they went to school during COVID, that was the point where you realize either you're going to do this, or this ain't for you.
Right. Certainly. There, the bloom was off the rose, right? There was no.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Right. There was no hiding.
Either this is the career for you, and you're going to see this for the long haul.
Right.
Or, yo, this ain't for me.
What a blessing that must have been, in a way. I'm not saying it wasn't difficult. I'm sure it was really challenging. But what a blessing to have it present up front for you. You're like, this is it, man. This is there's no trickery going on, right? This is what you're getting involved in. For me,
COVID was probably the best thing.
Yeah, I think a lot of people feel that way.
I can attest to that, because COVID made me feel like what I was lacking for 17 years working behind that truck, not feeling that I was contributing to humanity, my fellow man, my fellow woman.
Right.
I wasn't contributing anything. I was just going to work, getting a paycheck. COVID and being in nursing school, and it made me feel that everything that I did to help someone in need that may or may not be there tomorrow made a difference.
Beautiful.
And that was it. That's the trigger. You can't go back after that.
Right. Right. It's like, yeah, this isn't the same, but like when you have your own business and like you do, like I've done it for like 35 years now, or yeah,
Hmm.
about 35 years. Like I could never see myself going to work for someone else. I can't. I
Yes.
just couldn't. So I'm hearing the same. Like once you cross that bridge and you realize that like you're making a difference and this need that you have, this calling that you have, right? This divine
Yes.
calling is being satisfied. There's no going back. You can't go
Yes.
back, right?
No, there's no going back.
So
I want to just jump in here real fast and take you back. Oh my God, take you back maybe 2015, 14. It was you. We were at a diner uh, after Evan's mother or father passed away. We were sitting in the
uh-huh.
diner. It was a bunch of us, and you and I were talking. We had a conversation, and I asked you about your wife at the time, this and that, and you were saying to me, it was like, oh, I don't have kids, and congratulations on my kid, and this and that, and I wanted to say it then, so I guess I'll say it now. You said to me, it was like, oh, I don't have any kids. And I wanted to stop you and say to you, what are you talking about? You don't have kids. Everybody that
Yeah.
comes through that school
Yeah.
is your child.
Yeah.
And then so many years have passed, and here we are talking,
Right.
and one of your children is actually telling you about the difference that you made in my life. Like
Thank you, Q.
the things the direction that you gave me
Thank you.
and the spark that you gave me. And, I'm out there kind of flapping my wings on my own. So,
Thank you.
yeah, this conversation should have happened a long time ago, but I guess, you
It's
know
the
what?
right time right
We're going
now.
to have it now.
Thank you. Thank you. And may I just say, so meaningful for me. It's really, I can't, I don't have the words to tell you how important that is for me. I do struggle with all of this. I struggle with, legacy. I struggle with, am I really making a difference? What is it I'm doing? How do I do it better? Every single day I'm up at it, working to improve my own communication style, my own intentions, all of it. It's a lot of work, especially when you come from the places that we come from. It's like
Yeah.
I don't use the term grind. I don't. These are just my own thoughts, but like it's a commitment. It's work, and a lot of times we second guess. And so your loving, beautiful message to me is incredibly important. It really is, because sometimes it's just hard to see, and like I said, like people, like they leave, they go, and they should, it's like, we're together for a certain amount of time, and just to know that I made a difference, just fantastic.
Oh,
Thank you,
without a
Q.
doubt. Oh
Thank
my
you.
God, Gene,
Thank
without
you.
a doubt.
Thank you.
Absolutely, you made a difference. And I got to tell you, like what you're saying to me is almost the same thing that I do day to day. Like the people that I see in my hospital, they're only there for 2 weeks.
Right.
Some a little bit less, some a little bit more, but the average lifespan is 2 weeks. So I'm in inpatient rehab.
Right.
Uh, in Charlotte, North Carolina. So I
Right.
get a lot of patients who have sepsis, motor vehicle accidents, uh, amputees. I get a lot of amputee strokes. I get a lot of people. Like for you, you get students that'll do years. I get
Yeah.
people for 2 weeks.
Right.
But the difference that you make in their lives is impactful.
Thank you.
And I want to say that because I'm going to lead you to the story.
Yeah.
So I had one guy. I don't want to say his name because it's
Yeah.
HIPAA
Yeah.
and I can't divulge
Sure.
that
Don't.
information.
Please.
But he came into my facility. He was an amputee. He
What do
was
you
in a motor
lose, Q?
vehicle accident
Yeah.
on his way to the airport to pick up his daughter. He was in a motor vehicle accident. He got his right leg amputated.
Oh my gosh.
Right? Yeah, it was terrible. He came into the facility. for rehabilitation because they were going to do something called an osseointegration, where they put a bolt into your amputated leg that has like these nerves, not mechanical nerves in it, and they're going to put a leg on it where the leg is going to be able to feel the impulses from your brain, and you're going to be able to walk. And this guy
Wow.
was, yeah, he was going to walk, but he was so angry about the
I can
fact that he
imagine.
lost his leg.
Yeah.
So every day I had this guy for 3 days, 3 days a week, and I requested to be down the hall that this guy was at because he was suffering from a lot of depression because he's a military guy. He's
Right.
very manly.
Right.
He's
Right.
like,
Right.
he thought he was emasculated, and we worked. I worked this guy. I worked this guy to the point where I came into his room one night before I was going to go home just to check in on my patients. He's crying. He's like, "This is too hard." I said some really manly things to him. I was like, "Yo, you need to cut this nonsense out." And I didn't say
Nice.
it like that. I said it a
Yeah.
lot
Yeah.
harsher than
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And I
In a
closed the
language he
door
could
behind
understand,
me.
right?
But it was literally the only thing I could say to get this guy back on track. So, make a long story short, the guy ends up doing his rehab. He leaves, right? On the way out, he requests to see me. I saw him. He gave me a hug. He's like, "Dude, you brought me back from the brink."
Beautiful.
He's like, "My daughter wants me to dance with her at her wedding,
Wow.
and I'm gonna do it."
Wow.
This guy ends up going to his daughter's wedding, shoots me a video months
Oh,
later
beautiful.
of him dancing with his daughter at the wedding and says, "You changed my life." And I'm like,
Beautiful.
this guy, me. I
Yeah.
was thinking garbage in the back of a truck like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
a
Yeah.
couple of
Yeah.
years ago.
Q, I'm interested to know a few things. One is like, how do you know what to say? Like, is this part of the divine messaging? Like, is it just like you just kind of feel your way? You know what to say in those moments to people, or like how does that occur for you? Like, how did you know what to tell him?
Um, I gotta tell you, uh, this is something that it's a question that you could probably answer yourself because at the end of every class, from the moment that we met each other, from the moment I took your first class, you had a message at the end of every
Right,
class,
right.
right? It may not reach everybody, but it reaches somebody.
Yep.
And that's how I go into the room when I talk to people.
Beautiful.
Everything that I say may not resonate, but I got to say something.
Yep. Yep. I'm just soaking it all in, Q. It's really beautiful. It's like you answered this message. You're really in it. You're in very challenging situations, and you're bringing light to people in a very dark spot. It's really amazing, man. It's very amazing. It's powerful.
It's one of those things that people like. It's what can you do to make everything better? And it's a great many things that you could have done. I could have gone overseas and been part of the Peace Corps. Can't do that. I got a wife and kids. All right,
Right.
maybe I could have gone out there and be a bounty hunter and find kids. Well, that's not a possibility either because I got a wife and kids.
Right.
What is the best thing that I could have possibly do to make a difference and still hold on to the life that I have?
Right.
And it was nursing.
Beautiful. So how does I'm kind of interested, like, I don't know how to articulate, right? Like, how do you go from being just not a regular nurse, but you're coming out of nursing school, you kind of COVID, put you in the line of fire. You're
Mhm.
trial by fire, and you're getting all this information, and then you go to the upper kind of tier of nursing, right? Which I heard you just recently received an award for nursing, and
Yes.
congratulations for that. And
Thank you. Thank you.
it's quite clear why you got the award, but like, how does that happen? What's your process there? Like, do you go in and you go like, I'm just going to be the best nurse I possibly can be? What are you following? What, like, how does that How do you go from like working at a hospital to then getting the award? You know what I mean? What's the mindset there?
It's literally the exact thing, same thing that you just said. It's going into work every day thinking to yourself, I'm going to be the best I can at this craft. Doesn't matter if you're, I don't know, a cop,
Right.
a martial arts instructor, a teacher, a doctor, a parent, a mom, a dad. You're going to go into it thinking, I'm going to do the best I can at this craft every single day. And it just so happens that I went into this craft every day thinking I'm going to do my best. My goal is to change someone's life for the better every day. And one person that I went in and I changed their life and I made their stay in that hospital so memorable that they nominated me for this award, and it resonated with the administration, and they sent the application throughout, because this is a national award.
Right.
They sent it, and I won 50 states. I got the award.
Yes.
If you believe in what you're doing, you're not going to work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
If you enjoy what you're doing and you believe in what you're doing, you're not actually going to work. You just going in. You're going to hang out.
You know, I find it so fascinating that you call it a craft, and I call it a practice. I think the physicians call it a practice, but I don't know how many people are actually practicing. I think a lot of people, and God bless them for it, like they show up and they do what's necessary, and you're not.
Yes.
You're going well above and beyond, and I think you're
Yes.
practicing some things, and I just want to say thank you, man. Like that's really great.
Thank you, Gene. I appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm not a practicing nurse. I don't think of myself as a practicing nurse. What I think of myself as is that in Europe, most people have to do 2 years of military service to
Right.
support their country.
Right.
Right? Right now, I feel like I have to do something to contribute to my society. Not American, not New Yorker, not Charlotte,
Right.
humanity.
Right.
I got to do something. I
Right.
mean, we're all only on this planet for a short period of time if you really think about it.
Yep.
Like you gotta at some point you gotta put your head on the pillow for the last time and be content with what you did.
Yep. Listen, I got one more question for you.
Talk to me.
If you could sum it up, like your strategy, like for someone who is either, wrestling with moving in a new career or moving on to another profession, or they feel stuck and they don't like know which way to go. What would you tell that person?
I would tell that person that you have a great many years to make a lot of mistakes, and life is very forgiving. It is better to go out and make a bunch of mistakes and get that right answer at some point than to sit down on your hands and just at the end of the day wonder what could have been.
Beautiful. Q, I
Take a shot.
take the shot, right? Take the shot.
Take a shot.
Yeah.
Take a shot. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You remember back in the day when you ate that cookie that your mom told you not to eat and then she punished you? At 20-something years later, no one remembers that. Take a shot.
Yeah.
It's okay to make a mistake. It's okay to make a mistake. The average lifespan of a human being on this planet is about 80-something years.
Yeah.
That's a long time. You got enough time to make a mistake, make another decision, make another mistake,
Right.
do another decision, make another mistake. You got a lot of time to make a lot of mistakes. you know what? But if you sit around and stare off into space, you'll regret it.
Paradoxically, the time goes, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Listen,
You'll regret all the decisions that you did not make.
Q, this has been so powerful. We got no place to go, man. This was brilliant. And I'm just going to say, I can only imagine that when you put your head down at night, you feel satisfied. I know if I was you, I would. Yeah, man, brilliant work. Thank you for taking the time to come on the show. I just had a hunch when we talked, like this was going to be brilliant. And it was. It was more than I expected. And so thank you, man.
Gene,
I love you, pal.
I feel like we only scratched the surface. I mean, the way that we're talking and you know, like I would love to tell people about how you got me here and how I'm getting people to where they need to be. Like it's linear. Like you touch me, I touch someone else, and it just keeps going.
Right. Yeah, right. Well,
I think ultimately that's what the purpose of a human being is a father teaches a son teaches his son, a mother teaches her daughter, a daughter teaches her daughter. We just keep going.
I love you for that, pal. Well, thank you very much. Beautiful.
Gene, it's been a pleasure, my friend.
Thank you. Keep up that good work, my man. We need you.
Well, I'm chasing more awards. It's validation. Validation.
Great. Love you, pal.
Love you too, Gene.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Gentle Art Podcast. Please share, rate, and review. And if you have any questions or you'd like to reach out, please contact us at thegentleartpodcast@gmail.com or contact us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter or thegentleartpodcast.com.